What's good? Brandon Loves Sports TV. I'm gonna call this one Brandon Loves Life TV, because sometimes from time to time I do non-sports videos, and this is a non-sport video. I'm gonna talk about racism in America, and what we as black people have to deal with every single day. I just posted a video on Facebook. If y'all want to follow me on there, I'm on there. And I talked about how stressful it is to be a black man in America every single day. Your future's always uncertain. Don't know whether you're going to be harassed. Don't know whether you're going to be bullied. Don't know whether you're going to face attacks from your own community. Just the constant being under a microscope, and just wanting to live our lives and be like everybody else, want to go to work, provide for our families, and just live the quote-unquote American dream, but having to deal with the reality of racism. And it is extremely stressful being a black man or black woman in this country. And non-blacks, some of y'all, white people in particular, you're blessed. You're blessed. And you don't have to deal with y'all don't have to agree with this video, but the reality, you can talk to anybody, any of your black friends, and just listen to them. And when they're not just trying to go along to get along with you and your circle, when they just telling you the truth, just sit and listen to things they got to deal with. And some of y'all don't get it. Some of you are some good, there's some good white people out there. This is not one size fits all, but America, this system of America is by and large racist. That's just the truth. That's the reality of it. And anybody with common sense can tell you that. Do I love this country? Absolutely. No place I'd rather be than America. And I appreciate and I love my country, but my country ain't always loved me. And that's just real. And it's just true. Story time. I remember one time in 2010, and this is an example of what we had to deal with. My cousin, who's now deceased, we was real close. He was kind of like more like a brother to me, because we was raised together in Kansas City. And when I moved to Tennessee, he would come down all the time and visit. And so one day, because he had moved to Tennessee, he'd been living there for a number of years. His wife, his girlfriend at that time, they were living in an apartment, and she was white, he was black, so he already had a target on his back because of that. And he and I used to watch the NBA playoffs, NFL, football. We would barbecue and watch the game and drink sodas and just shoot the breeze and just have a good time. We used to do that, and so this time was no different than any other time. We were just doing what we always do. And so and this is the thing, white people, when they want to get an advantage over blacks, like they love to have these little rules, stuff like that about cars being parked and like visitors parking and stuff like those. Those are the kind of things that they just like to have authority over you. If that makes any sense. Kind of like they're the slave master, you the slave, so this is what I say, you got to do it, boy, do what I say, kind of mentality. And so, to make a long story short, I didn't know where visitors parking was. I didn't know I was supposed to park in a certain place. So they come and knock on the door. They thinking it's my cousin. He comes out, and no, it wasn't that. Because I remember that was 15 years ago when that happened. 13 years ago. This is what happened. My cousin was like, "Hey, you got to move your car." So I get out and I go to move my car, and I didn't realize that my cousin had already had run-ins with these people already. Apparently, the guy was this white man. His father was the owner of the apartment complex, so he was already walking around like he was Billy Bad, but he really didn't have no authority though. So he goes around, acting like he owned the place, which he don't. His daddy does, and he probably the only reason he had a job probably is because of his father was. So I go around, and he says, "You got to move your car." I said, "Well, I was going to move it," because I talked to my cousin about it. This guy proceeds to follow me getting up in my to the point where he gets up in my face about this car. I said, man, I'm going to move it now. He just keeps on. And so part of me wants to hit me, but what I was, you know what, I'm going to beat him at his own game. Because I know how I'm going to play the same game that they play. He trying to bait me because he want me to hit him. He lay hands on me, then he call the police. I lay hands on him, and he call the police. I go to jail. So this is what I'm going to do. I said, if you touch me, I'm calling the police. See, I used his own game against him. I said, I'll call the cops and have you arrested. And he was like, oh, man, I wasn't even like that, man. I wasn't even going to bother you, man. I just want to tell you about the car. I was like, okay, cool, you know. I told you I was going to move it, then why are we having this discussion? I'm going to get the car. So time goes by, and then I come back over after I moved the car. He comes back and looks at me, did you call the police? I said, no, you know, because you left me alone. I go back in the house. Then they knock on the door, the police come out. So my cousin is like, he's furious. I mean, he's irate because he'd already had an issue with this guy before. So like he comes out there. My cousin's like 6'5", 380 pounds, big dude. He comes out, him and the guy just going at it. He's just like cursing at the guy. You know, my cousin, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna do this. That. This is a big thing. They back and forth. So this police officer comes out. He's a big white man, bald headed, looked like Mr. Clean. But he was relatively reasonable. He just wanted to understand what was going on. And I basically told him what happened. You know, by the time I got through telling him what happened, he was like, man, you know what? I believe what you're saying, and it's cool. Later on, not knowing that like a week later, I saw that police officer in the gym. And he said, yeah, man, that guy's always calling us. He's always, you know, like I was in complaints from him. And like, it's basically, I'm tired of him. He said, he said after that incident, I told him, I said, if you ever call us again, he said, you're going to be like the little boy that cried wolf. He said, because I'm not coming out here. You got to fix your own problems. But that's what he's doing, calling the police on, you know, I don't know if he's calling on other folks, but my guess is mostly probably black and Hispanic people, like people of color. He's harassing, calling the police on them to, you know, make their life miserable, or even poor whites for that matter, whoever he's doing it. But that's the kind of thing we have to deal with as black every single day of our lives. Not knowing, you know, I was just there for a barbecue, just going in to play a game. Then the guy said somebody moved my car. And, you know, actually my cousin was talking to me about it. I went out, I got out there and moved my car, you know. Once I told him I'm going to get it, that should be the end of it. But I shouldn't have to explain myself to people like that, to like they walk around like they own the place, like they the police. You know, that's the stuff I'll be talking about. You know, like you just, and you know, it's just like you just never know. I was blessed because the wrong police officer could have showed up, and my cousin was mad, and, you know, it could have gotten physical. We all could have ended up going to jail, you know. And, you know, luckily, I'm very good at de-escalating. That's a gift I have. And I was able to de-escalate the situation and, you know, calm things down. And finally, I remember I told the dude right before we left, I said, he was up in my face. I was like, get your finger out of my face. I ain't got nothing else to say to you. And I turned around and walked off and left him standing there looking stupid, you know, and the police officer was laughing. Everybody else around him was laughing. But it got bad. I mean, it actually did get physical at some point because some white man came out the house and called my cousin the N-word, and then he got jumped, and it was just, it was a bad situation because there was some black people standing around and heard him say it, and, you know, I was able to de-escalate that situation, pull them off each other, and, you know, and it just because I know he was wrong. He deserved to get his butt whooped, but at the same time, I didn't want to see these brothers go to jail for that situation, though. But, you know, that's just one of so many stories that I have over the course of my life. And most black people can attest that is what every day of our lives looks like. So I'm like, man, just love. Don't hate, love, y'all. Just love each other, man. I recommend Reggie Parker. Go get this jazz album, Reggie Parker. It's called Black and Beautiful. I recommend that album. Very, very insightful. It's a great album. The music is great, and the message and the music is phenomenal too. All right, y'all. This is Brandon Love Sports TV. Brandon Love and Life TV. It's your boy. I'm out. Peace.